This is the Apply and Act B from Meredith Jones Davis. I am analyzing my lesson plan for 7th grade mass communications. This lesson is teaching the students how to analyze and understand the parts of a newspaper. So, in the first question, in Apply and Act, I'm asked to identify if there's an essential question. And in this particular lesson plan, we do see the essential question written right up at the top. How are the elements of a newspaper used to convey information to the reader? So in this lesson, we're asking students to kind of analyze the different parts of a newspaper and then discuss how those elements are used to get the information out to the reader and how the readers can use those different elements to help them navigate their way through the newspaper. So part 2 asks if the lesson ends with a formative assessment, and the assessment is listed in this section. They will demonstrate their mastery of the objective by creating a newsletter template that is creative, neat, and easy to read. Part 3 asks if the goal is aligned with the assessment, and I do believe for the most part the goal is aligned with the assessment. However, I think I would go back and change the assessment to add a constructed response piece to have the students describe how the newspaper template that they made will help their reader understand the newspaper better. So I would extend, I believe, that part of the assessment, the formative assessment, to ensure that students have mastered the concept. Question 4 asks if the learning target type is aligned with the appropriate assessment method, and I do believe these two are fairly well aligned. My learning target type is a combination of reasoning and product, since they are asked to kind of analyze the elements of the newspaper and demonstrate that reasoning in their final product here. And since the assessment method is a performance piece, I think that those two are aligned. However, again, I would extend the assessment piece with the constructed response in order to have the students demonstrate their reasoning skills. And part 5 of the Apply and Act asked me to check for the alignment with the learning activities. And so as I scroll down on my lesson plan here, we see various learning activities that use the 5E's lesson plan template here. So they're beginning with an engagement piece that asks them to think about themselves and the newspaper. And then later on, this is where they'll go through a lot of the content in the explanation and exploration. Here they get to do kind of like a mini scavenger hunt where they're searching through newspapers to find different elements and then analyze what they found and how those elements are used to help the reader. And then the extension is where we see the assessment piece. I do believe all of these elements do align with the original essential question about using the elements of a newspaper to help convey information to the reader, because every single thing that they're doing is supporting that content knowledge by looking through newspapers, analyzing the parts of a newspaper, asking themselves how they use the newspaper in their life. So all of these different activities will support the essential question. And I think once I add in that constructed response piece to the formative assessment, then everything will tie together to support the original objective.